Welcome back, everybody. In this video, we're going to be looking at how to update existing table entries. So in the last video, we took a deep dive into how do you insert records into a table in various different ways. Another very common thing you're going to want to do in the real world using SQL is update existing entries. So for our student data, even though it's very simple, it just has a name, GPA, major, and year, any of these things could change, right? Some are more probable than others. The GPA of a student is obviously changing over time. Their major will very likely change as they try to decide what they want to do. And their year will definitely change. As every school year increases by 1, their year has to increase by 1. So all these things need to change. How do we do that in SQL? It turns out there's a very nice update statement, and we're going to look at how to use it and the cautions along with how to use it. First, let's do a select of all the students we have so far. We have these 12 students, all their names, GPAs, majors, and years. Great. So here is the basic usage of the update statement. Let's say that we want to change the name of the major math to mathematics to make it more formal. So usually when you have an update statement, you need to have a where clause, and we'll look at what can go wrong if you don't have a where clause. In this case, what we're doing is update the student's data. And how do you want to update it? I want to set, so set is another keyword in SQL. I want to set the major to mathematics anytime the major is currently math. So what that does behind the scenes is it's going to go through your data. Anytime the major is math, it's going to update that as mathematics. Pretty simple. We're going to select all the students after doing that. And we see we got exactly the change we wanted. All the math is changed to mathematics. We're going to commit that so it's saved to our database. And that's it. That's how you do an update in SQL. Now, I do want to give you some cautions here before we move on. If you don't put the where, then it's going to do that update to every single row in your data frame because it's assuming you want to do it to everything. So what if I just did update students and set major as mathematics without putting any where clause? Well, here's what would go wrong. Now every single student's major got changed to mathematics because it's assuming I want to operate on everybody. But that's obviously wrong. Now another important idea to note is if I did this by accident, how do I revert back to my previous data? Well, notice I didn't do the commit yet, so I'm safe. I can just do this function called the rollback. So rollback is kind of the counterpart or opposite of commit. Rollback basically goes back to the latest commit. So if I do this, and then I again select everything from students, we see that we fixed our mistake. We rolled back that previous change so that we can actually do it the right way. So that's a nice thing to know as well. Let's do one more update using 2 different variables and the AND statement to add a little bit of a complexity to it. So we're going to update the GPA of all first-year mathematics majors to be null. So if you look at our data right now, first years shouldn't really have a GPA, right? We see that in all these first years down here, they don't have a GPA yet. But let's say that this person accidentally got a GPA of 2.8, so we want to revert that to be none. So we only want to operate on this mathematics first-year major, let's say. So we're going to say update the student's data and set the GPA to be null, aka we don't know what it is, only where the major is mathematics and the year is equal to 1. So for whatever reason, we're just doing this change on first-year mathematics majors. We'll do that, select everything, and we see that for this first-year mathematics major who previously had that 2.8 GPA, we have successfully set their GPA as none, so we don't know what it is. So that's slightly more complicated, but still pretty simple way to use the update statement in SQL. And then let's commit now since everything looks good. And awesome, it's been saved to the database. That's how you do the update statement in SQL, guys. We'll be looking at how to delete records next.